Hey there. Figma just dropped some awesome features at Config 2025, and today we're putting them into a test. Therefore, I prepared a sleek NFT landing page that you can download to follow along. You find the link in the description below. In this video, I'll try to focus mostly on the new stuff like the new progressive blur, noise, texture, the awesome draw mode, as well as the lovely new Flexbox-like Grid system, which the developer in me and design nerd really loves to explore. There's a lot to play with, and it's all available right now. At the end of this video, you should have a good overview of the new features and how to integrate them into your daily work. So, let's dive in. I'm Dave, your host. Let's go. In this playground, you can find the final website, so that you can just check it out and see how I applied different effects to it. But you can also see and follow along via the stations. My plan for today, right now, is that we go together from station to station, so that I can give you a glimpse into each of these individual tools. Therefore, let's jump in and go into station 1. Station 1, our blur, texture as well as noise. Let's start with the progressive blur. Therefore, let's do something really simple. Create a new circle, and then we give the circle a nice color. Color applied. Okay, that's a bit better. To make it a little bit more dynamic, morph it slightly. And then we go to Effects on the bottom right, click on Add Effect. Figma now selected automatically the drop shadow, but we want to have the layer blur and or background blur. In both of the blurs you will find the new tabs. The uniform tab will include the layer blur you already know. You can just up and down the blur. But what's new and more exciting for us to explore right now is the so-called progressive blur. And it works exactly like you already know from the linear gradient. You can move the drawers to change the gradient and the position. Let's put it closer together so that you see how it works. Nice. Okay, for the effect, let's put it somewhere here so that we have kind of a hard shadow at the beginning and fade out to the end. If we then combine it with a small linear gradient, here we are. Okay, don't make it dark. Use the same color for the gradient as for the original color and put it to 0. And here we have our lovely progressive blur. With the progressive blur you can do a lot of things, not only nice transition effects, you can also do some glass effects with it, or you could do even a linear shadow like I did here. Feel free to check out the playground so that you get an idea on how I applied it here. Don't waste time, go to the next one. Okay, next one, noise and texture. Let's start first with our noise texture. Select the layer. Go to effects, and there you have also the option to add an effect like the noise. If you have added the noise, you can select the effects, and there you find 3 new tabs. One tab is the mono. In the mono tab, you have one mono noise, like you can see here right now. In the Duo tab, like the name suggests, you have duo colors. And in the Multi tab, you have this more like this CCTV retro noise thingy going on, which can also lead to some interesting effects. Just play with it. I added it also here and there to the website to make it a little bit more interesting. Next one, let's go to our lovely texture. This one is probably my personal favorite, as it enables you to do so much more effect-wise. Also here, add an effect, click on texture, and in the settings you can control the settings for the texture. Make it smaller, make it bigger. If you want to have just a small painty effect, keep the values small, like I did here right now. And then you can also control the radius. One important part, activate the clip to shape. If you don't activate it, the whole shape will kind of disturb, and this is not what we want. And this could lead to some unexpected results. That's why let's keep the clip to shape activated. We then combine everything what we learned in stage 1. Then we can build something like this, where we used the progressive blur for the linear shadow, as well as the texture and noise for the card, so that it feels a little bit more haptic and gives also this nice texture to the shadow to feel a little bit more natural. Let's move quickly to step 2, or station 2. In this part we discuss a little bit more about drawing and the new stroke effects. So Figma implemented a new feature so that you can actually draw in Figma. It still feels like a beta or even an alpha, but it's pretty cool what you can do with it. On Figma, in the bottom bar, you find now the design mode as well as the draw mode and the dev mode. For our case, let's activate the draw mode. What you will see here is that you activate the pencil, the brush and the pen, and also the rest of the layout kind of adjusted to the new draw mode, which is pretty handy. Everything is a little bit bigger and easier to touch, which makes it really nice to work with, especially if you have a tablet like the Surface Pro, an iPad or whatever. So literally any tool which can open Figma. And I think the use case for most of you, or the most interesting one, is the change of icons. I mean, let's be true, icons get kind of boring nowadays, right? We all use Streamline, Material and so on. But with this new feature, we can easily fine-tune them without the need of recreating them over and over again, which is really cool. In this case, I've played a little bit with 2 strokes effects. One is the typical brush effect Figma just added, and another the dynamic effect. If we click on the icon, quick tip, keep Ctrl pressed and then with the left mouse on any element, and you will directly select it, which saves you a lot of work. Okay, let's select this stroke here. And there we can see that it applied already a stroke and a brush. In the right corner we can adjust the size, which is nice. We can adjust the behavior of the stroke like we could already before. And we can change the brush to give it whatever style we think could be cool. But what is probably also interesting or more interesting is if you go on stroke settings, we have now here also 3 new tabs. One is a basic tab, which is literally what we had before in Figma. Then we have the dynamic as well as the brush. Dynamic gives a little bit more of this wobble, hand-drawn style, which is pretty cool. Play with it, there are literally endless of possibilities. And you can also check out the rest of the files. There I transformed my lovely blobby into a drawing with this effect applied, and also added a small effect to one of my drawings, to my, I call him Pummel. You can get quite creative with this new effects. If you use the brush, let's just use the brush, and sorry for the bad drawing on trackpad, it isn't as easy. And while you draw, you will see that Figma adjusts the brush based on what you're doing, which is pretty handy. Though with this feature you are easily able to add some more character to your designs. And you can also adjust it like every other stroke in Figma, which is really nice. What else to say? Let's try something new. Let's select our lovely Pummel and add a texture here. Yeah, that's a cool idea. Okay, click on Pattern And then you can, which is pretty handy, select source. In our case, I select the small ghost, select source, and now we've applied our ghost as texture in the pummel graphic. And we have for sure also a lot of options like scale it down. Let's go with this size and change the spacing to make it a little bit less boring. We can also add the alignment and so on and so on. So a lot of new toys to play with. Can't wait to see what you build out of it. In our last feature for today, we will discuss the new grid feature, which is kind of this new advanced auto layout thingy. At least this is what most people would say, but it's totally wrong. It's so wrong, because it works so different. Let's create a new frame by pressing F on the keyboard. Draw the frame, and then on the right side you can already see this new tab UI, which have, in addition to the classic vertical and horizontal auto grid, also the grid. And in the grid you can see if you have activated it. In this case it says 2x2. When we click in it, we give the option to change and adjust the grid. Let's make something like this. Oh, let's be a little bit tricky. Let's make it a little bit more complex with a 5x4 grid. Oop. And then let's drag and drop one of the elements we already created in another grid and move it to a new position in the new grid. What you can see here, what is quite interesting, you get already a preview of where the grid will position the new element, and you may wonder why it's just a 1x3. Let's put it there, 1x3. What actually happening is the grid item is set to 3x1, which is exactly what it also referred to in the new grid. The problem is that in an old grid I used a really simple grid system, like a 5x2, which means every bento item is one grid item height. What is cool is the item remembers the grid size. In this case we adjusted it now to 3x2, which means it will try to find a place in this 3x2 grid to land there safely. You can adjust the grid size by just resizing the element. It will then automatically remember the configuration. Another thing you see here right now when you activate the grid are those blue boxes, which are pretty handy. And in case you wonder why, let's just click one of the grid tiles and change auto to a fixed value like 300. And now this part of the grid is 300 pixel height, which is beautiful, which means the grid can be adjusted a lot to give it even more dynamic. Which means also if we drop our card now here, it will still remember the configuration and adjust to it. I'm really curious to see what you build with it. Done. Okay, this is actually the new grid system. I really hope that it already helps you to get an idea of how to use the grid. That's everything for today. What we learned so far is we learned how all the cool new Figma features work. At least we get a first glimpse in it, and with the playground you can dive deeper into the new features, experiment with it, recreate them. So feel free to use the playground and create your own stuff with it. I'm really curious to see what you can come up with. And see you on the next one. I hope you liked this kind of format, experiment. At least I enjoyed it, and have a good day.